1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
Diamonds in the sunset, now your time has come. A pretty yellow bird flower.
All right, 6 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. And a good friend is in the studio. Jim Penna is here. Jim is on the air with us quite regularly, actually, but usually over the phone. Today he's in the studio. And for those of you who've listened regularly, you've heard Jim contributing to our broadcast quite often. And his mom, Liz Penna, was, before she passed away, very, very active in our community and with this radio program. Jim, additionally, in addition to all the other things he does, is a licensed amateur radio operator, as well as a community advocate, and very politically active with the Constitution Party. Which microphone this is? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Number 3, right?
Yeah.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah.
So good morning, Jim.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. We have the level right? Yeah.
Well, you are an amateur radio operator, aren't you?
Yeah.
You got. Hold on. I'll fix this. Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Jim?
Okay.
Oh, you're here to talk about Amateur Radio Week, which started a couple days ago, that runs through the 29th, and then there's the Amateur Radio Relay League's Field Day Emergency Preparedness Exercise.
That's correct.
Which is a long title. And that's going to be on this Saturday and Sunday coming up, right? So
Right, that's correct.
So good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
What kind of a radio do you have? When you say amateur radio?
I only operate 2 meters sporadically from my home because I'm too busy at my work to have set up a regular big station. But
Okay, all right.
our club, the Silver Springs Radio Club, has a nice station for all of its members to use. And in addition, we're setting up a field day station this Saturday and Sunday. We're going to operate around the clock, or as long as we can, until we get too tired.
Okay, you've already said enough for me to have a lot of questions. First of all, help me out. And just because I work at a radio station doesn't mean I know radio.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this: is amateur radio and ham radio, is that the same thing?
Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah.
Same thing. What does the word ham actually mean?
That was an expression that developed over the years. It was a derogatory expression.
Oh, really?
That some years ago, the only way you communicated was by Morse code. The telephony hadn't come in yet, and the amateur radio operators weren't as good as the professional radio telegraphers, and so the professional radio telegraphers called us ham operators.
Okay. But if I go on Google or go to Best Buy or something, I want to buy a ham radio, that's the same radio you're talking about?
Yeah.
Now, when you say 2 meters, what does that mean?
That's a VHF spectrum. It runs from 144 to 148 megacycles or megahertz.
It's right over my head, Robin. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, but there's HF and VHF and UHF.
Okay. So who do you talk to when you're on the radio? We'll get to
whoever you can reach.
We'll get to the field day in just a second. But typically, what do? You go home. Is this your form of recreation?
Yeah.
And you have to have a license to do this?
Yeah. I'll pass you the license to look at.
Okay. Well, I took, let me see. When did you first get your first license?
1969.
Wow. And how long does it last?
5 years. Well, it used to be 5 years. Now it's 10.
And we stopped needing licenses to do what we do here.
Yeah. I worked at the college broadcast station, and I had the old third-class radio license with the broadcast endorsement.
Okay, so you do this as a form of
hobby,
recreation?
yeah.
Okay, so take us into your world. What do? You get home, you're a post office, you a mailman, you deliver the mail, right?
Yeah.
So you get home, and you take off your shoes, and you sit down with your radio?
Yeah, sometimes.
And what do you do? Do you call?
There's a 2 meter repeater, several two meter repeaters in the area, and
what is that?
It's a way of amplifying a low signal.
Okay, so in human talk, you talk, And the repeater takes your talk farther.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so how far does it go?
Well, there's one repeater in town that's referred to as the DX repeater, 145.97, and because it sits at the top of the K93 tower,
Which is taller than the Empire, than the World Trade Center.
Yeah. And you can talk clear up to the Carolinas through that repeater.
Okay,
Wow.
so that's so in other words, you can't talk to Japan.
Not on 2 meters. You can talk to them on the lower frequencies.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so take us to your world, though. I mean, you get on and you talk to some kid in North Carolina or adult. I mean, who is it? Who are you talking to?
Mostly adults.
What are they talking about?
Exchanging signal reports, bragging on their equipment or lack of it.
Yay! You gotta be kidding. So, hi, I got some new stuff here.
Yeah.
That's important.
What
to
do you
them,
talk?
though.
You don't talk about girlfriends and things.
Yeah. Also, we sometimes pass message traffic.
What's that mean?
Radio telegrams.
About-
birthday greetings.
Birthday
anniversary greetings. That sort of thing.
to people who might not otherwise get them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Now, where are they living that they're not going to be able to get a phone call?
Well, usually it's handled. You send the message to the other amateur, and then the amateur completes the delivery by either
have you
a
ever done
telephone
this?
call or a postcard. When I was more active, I used to handle radio traffic. I haven't done it in a number of years, but
I mean, somebody would call you on the radio. And do they call you by name or by
well,
number?
there's organized nets for the passing of traffic.
This is so complicated.
There's
All right, so
Florida phone, and there's various VHF nets and tropical phone and maritime mobile.
okay, so I want to get to the field day because that's why you're
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah.
Okay, so far this is what we've established.
Yeah.
That the amateur radio operator, there's a big spectrum of the ones with the small equipment,
Yeah.
the ones with the big equipment.
Exactly.
And typically you get on and you don't talk about your girlfriends or your dog's fleas. You talk about numbers. No?
Yeah, signal reports and
what is that?
antenna configurations.
Why is that interesting? Why are signal reports interesting?
Well, it's a signal report indicates whether you're hearing the guy loud or whether you're hearing the guy soft.
That's it? You get on your radio? Can you hear me? Yeah, pretty good.
During a contest, that's all you exchange is the signal reports.
Really? So what's the farthest you've ever...
When I was in New York, we operated field day out of Joe's Hill in Riverhead, and I talked to the South Pole one night.
Wow. That
Long
was
path.
Cool.
The antenna was pointed north.
Now, how do you
That
know
is cool.
that this guy wasn't just putting you on? How do you know he wasn't in Freeport? On Long Island, I mean, or North Merritt.
No, the call sign was the Navy station at the South.
What did he say to you? What did he say to you?
We exchanged signal reports. He talked about how cold it was. This is in June.
See,
so
that would be interesting.
It's real
How cold is it in Antarctica?
Yeah, and that's the middle of their winter.
Is it global warming at all? All right. So now take us to the field day. So the field day is going to happen.
Field day happens every year, last weekend in June. It's a 24-hour event. You set up station, operating off emergency power. There is a category for operating out of your home on commercial power. It's a different category.
Okay.
We operate in the A category in our club, which is off emergency power. And
do you do this all the time? I mean, do you talk like this all the time? I'm having a hard time keeping up with you. I understood. What was the stew you brought me? Brunswick stew?
Brunswick stew.
I understood that conversation. This one has too many numbers in it. All right, so where is the field day going to be?
the field day this year is going to be in the lawn area outside Green Clover Hall.
The lawn area.
Yeah, because the antennas are set up outside. We're going to have a big tent.
Okay, and this is at the McPherson complex.
Yeah, McPherson.
How big? How tall are their antennas?
As high as we can get them up, rigged up some of them be 30, 40 feet off the ground, according to how high we can get them rigged up.
Okay, and they arrive on a truck or something? How?
No, we string them up what's called a spud gun.
Oh my goodness!
It's a compressed air situation where you send up
like a telescoping antenna.
Well, it's not a well. There's going to be some verticals, but the horizontal ones you have to get the
spud gun.
The spud gun to get the.
That's a gun that shoots potatoes, right?
Well, it's an air gun that shoots a string up so you can haul the end of the antenna up into the tree.
Oh, you're dangling it from a tree.
Yeah.
A tree would interfere with this radio. You can't have a tree around these towers.
Yeah, the lower frequencies, the trees don't matter much. You use them to support the ends of the antennas.
Could you, like if you had a ham radio in your house, could you use an old TV antenna to help?
On 6 meter, a TV antenna would work work well because
to put out.
Oh,
really?
Now, this event is called the American Radio Relay League, and they use the word relay. Does that mean that somebody from Florida will be speaking, and then they'll transfer that call and speak to somebody in Arkansas and then go up and up?
Yeah, in the older days, a communication would sometimes be relayed from one station to another. He would copy down your message and then pass it on, and that's the relay. That doesn't so much happen anymore, except within the traffic handling. We have the national traffic system and the transcontinental core, which moves messages back and forth across the country.
Oh.
In 2004, when we had the hurricanes that came through, the emergency management folks were thanking you guys.
Yep.
Because of why? What happened? And does that happen often? Does it happen often?
Anytime you have an emergency like that where normal telephone lines go down, the cell phone becomes pretty much useless because everybody's trying to get on at the same time. And so the cell phones become overloaded. And the amateur radio system comes into play because we're able to maintain communications.
And were you part of whatever happened in 2004?
No, I wasn't active in 2004. I was active during Andrew in 2001.
And what exactly was transmitted that was helpful?
Units on the ground would be communicating with Tallahassee, and with telephone lines down, you couldn't talk directly with Tallahassee on the telephone, and we would relay messages back and forth.
So, somebody in Governor Scott's office or something, they have a shortwave radio up there.
The Office of Emergency.
Is that the right word? Shortwave.
Yeah, the Office of Emergency Management maintains those capabilities.
How much do those radios cost?
Upwards of $1,000 if you get the ones with the latest goodies.
Okay, but that sounds like you can get one for $200.
Yeah, you can get it depends on how many bells and whistles you want on the rig, and
Now, at your event, is the public invited? And
yes,
if they are, what
invited.
will they do when they go there?
We're going to have a Get on the Air station, which is a demonstration station to demonstrate how the radio works. And all licensed operators are invited to participate. It's going to go 24 hours from 2 p.m. Saturday to 2 p.m. Sunday down at Green Clover Hall.
Wow. So what are you doing in the middle of the night?
Drinking coffee and talking on the radio.
Okay, so now a serious question about the radio. I know in the middle of the night, AM radio goes everywhere, or it can.
Yeah. On
Does the same
the
thing
lower
happen?
frequencies, 7 megacycles, you can talk pretty much around the world. We're expecting good propagation, so we could probably even go all the way. 14 megacycles should probably be active most of the night also.
So does anybody actually do a radio show on shortwave? Do they play music or anything?
No, we're not allowed to broadcast. The only station that's allowed to broadcast amateur-related material is W1AW, and they also broadcast code practice on a regular schedule. If you want to
So that's all related to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is not called a broadcast.
No, we're
what's it called?
we're engaged in two-way communication.
Okay.
When you talk to the people in the different areas, then during this 24-hour period, will you exchange addresses so you can send postcards to the people
Yes.
you're talking to
Yes.
to really know where they're at?
Yep.
Is it mostly men?
Mostly men. We have a lot of women in the hobby too. Two of the more famous women operators in our hobby have been Clara Rieger and Louise Moreau.
How did they become famous?
Clara Rieger was a professor of electrical engineering at Mohawk Valley Community College, and she started a lot of the message traffic nets in New York State. She was Empire Slow Speed and NYS.
Is that her name? You mean that was?
That was the names of the two nets that she was instrumental in starting. The Empire Slow Speed Net and the New York State Net.
Okay. The event is the main reason to be here. I mean, we can pick your brain and try to learn, but you're so full of knowledge. I don't think I'm even retaining an ounce of it. The Amateur Radio Week is it declared every year by the governor?
Yeah. The governor and the mayor of Ocala have both declared this to be Amateur Radio Week.
Oh, really?
I don't have the proclamations with me.
Does Kent Gwynn have a ham radio?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Will he be there? Will Kent Gwynn and a few other dignitaries be there?
I'm told that Mayor Gwynn will be there for the flag raising on Saturday afternoon.
That's nice.
That's at 2:00, the flag raising, or before that?
I think they're going to try to raise the flag at noon.
Oh, okay.
And you do that with a spud gun too?
No. We have
an actual flagpole.
There's an actual flagpole, and we run it up.
Is a spud gun fun? I mean, it sounds like fun. Hey.
Yeah, it's a way of launching a line into the air without a firearm. There are guys that do it with bow and arrow also.
Do you have to use headphones when you talk on the radio, or do you have an outside speaker?
There's going to be a number of stations together in the same tent, so we'll have headphones on to avoid hearing each other.
Does anybody ever speak to somebody that they already know and say, "Hey, by the way,
a lot of the same stations are on every year."
But I mean, let's say you're speaking to your brother who lives in North Dakota. And not that you have a brother. But just,
I don't have a brother out there, but I mean...
but somebody does, let's say. And they say, hey, can you say, hey, Johnny, how you doing? Or do you have to say number 44G?
No, we can get into some of that.
You can talk.
Really?
So you can say, Aunt Susan is okay?
Like my old college radio station, K2CC, will likely be on over the 2 days. I hope to make contact with them. Our old rival, Cornell, W2CXM, will be on, and RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, which is W2SZ, will be on.
Are they all W2s? Is that all the beginnings?
No, W's and K's are the... our station is K4GSO. And our website is k4gso.us if you want
I'm gonna look it up.
people more information about the...
Tell me it again.
K4gso.us.
.us. K4gso.us. Okay, and you have a phone call, Jim. Let's go to the phone. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air with Jim Penna.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, Jim. Nice talking. Yeah.
Yes.
Are there certain governments in the world that do not allow amateur radio? And if there are, can you still connect yourself with those people in those governments?
With great difficulty. and sometimes those guys risk life and limb to get on the air. But a lot of countries have only a few licensed radio amateurs that have found favor with the country's leadership. Some years ago, a Roman Catholic missionary by the name of Marshall Moran was the only licensed operator in the country of Nepal, and he was passing through Ocala on his way home to Chicago on a vacation. and he apparently knew somebody up here at Blessed Trinity, and he spoke to our club one evening, and it was a very interesting.
Wow, well, you live an interesting life, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The website k4gso.us.
Yes.
Who maintains the website? You?
No. The club, somebody on the club does that. I'm not that good at computer
So
stuff.
how do you find somebody? I mean, like when you're tuning a radio in, you got the dial or whatever. How do you do that?
Well, you look for a station that's that you can hear through the that's clearer than the static.
All right, but how? Is there a number you're changing somehow?
Yeah,
Like a dial.
Yeah, you spin the dial and you find somebody with a strong signal, and you
say, "Who is
wait
this?"
You wait for him to identify himself, and then you call him back. And sometimes he'll be working somebody else, so you wait, and then you call him again.
Are these the radios that were used by the Coast Watchers during the war? The same type of radios, the ham radios?
Similar, the technician, the technology has come past vacuum tubes. It's all solid state now, but the principle is the same.
So the field day, you have a countdown calendar on here, is 2 days, 3 hours, 32 minutes, and 55 seconds away.
That's exciting.
You guys are unbelievable.
That's
and you have
exciting.
something else happening in December?
Yes.
The Ham Fest?
Yeah, that's where you guys get together and.
Any Jewish people show up for the Ham Fest?
we have hams of all religious persuasions and cultural backgrounds.
Just making fun with the word ham is all.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if I went to a ham fest, I'd bring my mustard, I think.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like fun. And I've always been fascinated by this because I am a geek too.
Yeah.
I just haven't paid money to have stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Will there be snacks there for people to come?
Yeah,
When they
really.
come
That's a word. No numbers in that answer.
Everybody brings, a little covered dish, so
Oh, really?
We have
Covered
some
dish.
sustenance during the.
I'm pretty good with
that makes it nice.
tuna noodle salad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with that.
Yeah, that's really good.
I don't know what I would offer to this club. You guys are all way above me. So it's this coming Saturday and Sunday. And
Yeah.
now, do the people who are listening who are not part of a club, do they need to let you know in advance that they're coming?
No, just show up whatever time you can. I know there are people that work on Saturday, so come
So
in
let's
after work.
say I'm driving around and I have a young child, or an 8-year-old little daughter, okay, and I say, "Oh, Susie, you want to go try this out?" "Oh yeah, I want to try it out." So I show up, and I have no idea what we're doing. Do I just wait in line? Do I say, "Can my daughter be on the radio?" I mean, can you do that? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the Get on the Air station is about. People that have no experience at all can get behind the microphone and say a few words.
Oh wow! And do you ever
Nice.
have children that speak to you?
Yeah. There's a strong program in both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts to teach this.
All right. We're almost out of time, but one quick question: is the field day all over the world? Is everybody doing
Pretty
it at
much
the same
all
time?
over the world. It's mostly a United States and Canada thing, but stations all over the world make contact with each other.
So if there's ever a time you're going to speak to people far away, it's this.
Yeah, this is one of the big weekends.
All right, so show up at the McPherson Complex outside of the.
It's just behind the big red building. It's the small green building behind the big red building where you renew your license plate.
Green Clover Hall.
Green Clover Hall.
What it's called. All right. Any phone number you want to give out before we say goodbye? We got 10 seconds.
K4gso.us.
You want to
There you go.
How do you sign out? Sign out because we've got 10 seconds. How do you sign out when you're online? Or can you not do it on these airwaves? No? Doesn't matter.
K4GSO clear and leaving.
All right. Clear and leaving.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Jim Penna, thank you. You're awesome. All right, we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. The Supreme Court expected to hand down some significant decisions before it recesses at the end of the
Just
month.
a few arguments are left unresolved, but that list includes the Hobby Lobby challenge to the Affordable Care Act's contraception requirements and a challenge from Senate Republicans arguing several of the president's recess appointments were unconstitutional.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern.
The justices also considering if home health care workers can be forced to pay union dues and if Massachusetts can create a protest-free buffer zone around health clinics that provide abortions.
An effort to ban the sale of large sugary drinks loses its fizz. New York State